Russia has carried out further attacks on Ukrainian port areas after warning that commercial ships on the Black Sea would be considered possible targets. Last week, Russia pulled out of a deal which guaranteed the safe passage of grain shipments. President Putin accused Western countries of using the expired agreement to profiteer shamelessly. But during calls with the Russian government officials, Mr. Putin said he was prepared to return to the accord immediately if certain conditions were met. I have to go live now to our correspondent in Ukraine, James Waterhouse, who's following all of the developments for us. Hi, James. Good to see you. Russia has been accused by the US of weaponizing food. Now it looks like food really has become a target.
It really does, doesn't it? I think what we're seeing is the Kremlin try to rubber stamp its departure from the grain initiative. 3 days ago, it officially pulled out of this deal, the only diplomatic breakthrough in this conflict, which allowed Ukraine to export grain through the Black Sea. And now, not only has Russia pulled out, but it is now starting to deliberately target port areas around the southern cities of Mykolaiv and Odessa. Now, under the initiative, Moscow had agreed to leave those areas alone. So it's keen to make a statement, but it's also clearly trying to frustrate Ukraine in as many ways possible, because Ukraine is looking at plan Bs over exporting grain over land or through the river Danube, but these are a scratching of the surface in terms of what Ukraine will be able to get out, and they're also far more expensive logistically. Now, one of Russia's long-term gripes has been its inability to export its own agricultural products through the deal. The reason for that are the wider sanctions imposed by the West. So, for example, if it can put fertilizer on a ship, it can't get insurance for that vessel, and it's not able to dock in several locations. But what Vladimir Putin is also saying is that he wants the agricultural bank of Russia to be connected to the global fast payment system. But again, the reason it is not connected is because of wider sanctions. So you can see this sticking point. Turkey, one of the main brokers of the deal, is still confident that Russia may well come back. But at the moment, if you're looking at what's happening on the south coast, it's feeling very unlikely.
Meanwhile, wheat prices are rising sharply across the world, are there? What are the possible areas of negotiation here, then, do you think?
I think it's very difficult. I think early on in this conflict, when Russia did agree to this deal in July last year, I remember we were in Odessa, we watched the first vessel leave. It felt like at the time that Russia saw it as an opportunity to portray itself as the solution with what it still calls a special military operation, by saying, look, you know, we're doing what is necessary and right through what is a full-scale invasion, but we will allow Ukraine to export grain to address the global food crisis. But I think there is a direct connection between the stuttering performance of Vladimir Putin's troops, in that, you know, Russia's objective remains unclear as ever. It is trying to weather a Ukrainian counter-offensive as we speak. So I think this is Russia trying to deploy another tactic within its arsenal. And to be frank, it is able to do so around the south coast because it has long been in control of Crimea, the peninsula it annexed 9 years ago. Its main Black Sea fleet is based there. It controls the waters. And I think what was interesting is when we speak to grain shipment companies, they haven't allowed this initiative to run for a couple of months. So I think they're doing it because they can.
OK, James in Kyiv, thank you.